Hey everyone, Jazz here, and in today's video, I'm going to discuss my personal goals and thoughts about the future. Honestly, the main reason I wanted to make a video about this is because it's a way to keep myself accountable and actually motivated to accomplish these goals. And if I can get at least one more person to think about their own goals, then I see this video as a success. The reason it's so important to make your goals as specific as possible, in my opinion, is because otherwise you don't know if you're actually hitting them. This could also be seen as a positive thing for some people because you also won't know if you failed. However, you'll see fairly quickly that if you take this approach, you just won't get anywhere and you'll get stuck in autopilot through life. So I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just keep it specific. Don't be afraid to fail if it means you could succeed in the future. And that being said, let's go through my personal goals. I'd like to start off by saying that these topics were just the ones that came to mind for me. And there are obviously more things I need to do besides these. This is just what came to mind when I was setting up my goals. So I basically have 4 topics: content creation, coaching, competitive Fortnite, and IRL. So for content creation, I said 15 videos in 10 weeks. So the reason I say that is because I feel like it's doable for me to do 1 a week. And I think if I push myself, I can do 2 a week on certain weeks. So I don't want to be able. I don't think it'd be doable for me to do 2 every week at this point of my life. However, I feel like I can definitely do it half the time. So I feel like all these goals, by the way, are fairly doable, but still challenging. And I think that's the perfect kind of way to set your goals. I think if it's too doable, then they're not really goals. It's just habit. It's just your life. And if it's too challenging, then you won't get it done. So I try to find that balance in between those two lines. So the next thing is stream 200 hours in 10 weeks. 200 hours sounds like a lot, but it's not that bad. It basically just means 20 hours each week, which I'm close to that already. And then combined with the coaching, at least for 150 hours within 10 weeks. I'm usually streaming my coaching sessions, so a lot of this overlaps. So that's good. It feels like a lot more when I see it here than what it actually is because of the overlap. So, and then the second topic within coaching is get promoted within ProGuides in some shape, way, or form within 10 weeks. The reason I say this is because I believe that I am doing my job, and I'm doing my job really well, and I'm doing more than my job. I'm making maps, I'm helping other coaches, and I've actually been close to getting sort of promoted in different ways. I've made videos in the past for ProGuides. I've done different things, but I just like an official kind of promotion to whatever. All right, next topic, competitive Fortnite. The reason I put this here is because actually, I'm going to rephrase that. The thing with competitive Fortnite is that it's never been my goal to be the absolute best or anything. Otherwise, these goals would look very different. I'd have like creative training and do this within whatever it is. But but the reason I put this here is because I feel like to be able to coach well, I need to compete at a certain level. So I want to make sure that I can compete at a certain level, and I know that I can at the moment, and I want to make sure that I can do that continuously. If you guys don't know, the EU practice server was launched literally today, so I don't know how hard it is to get in here yet. So this 10 weeks is probably the most malleable of all the others. If it's really easy, then it'll be done way before 10 weeks. If it's harder, then I'll have to maybe be longer than 10 weeks. We'll see. So this is the 10 weeks. I wanted to put this here because I want to aim at it and I want to see how it goes. And if I don't put it here, then I might just forget about it or get lazy or whatever it is. But if I put it here, I know like I need to grind for this. I need to do it. And then finally, IRL. Very important topic. Spending at least 1 day a week with IRL friends is super important to me. I feel like if I don't do that, then it's so important to me to remain to how do I say this? To maintain your contacts and relationships with people. Especially, I've got really good friends and I've got good family and all that. I don't have family here, but I also mean family. And it's important to not get clouded by all this, where I'm so focused on doing all of this that I forget this, because I don't want to forget this ever. So I need to at least spend 1 day a week with IRL friends, in my opinion. Then second thing is complete this year of university, which is basically just, I feel like that's a necessity. If my life fails in all ways and I at least have my education, then that's good. Obviously, the failing of life isn't good, but the education is good no matter what. So I feel like that's a good kind of backbone for myself. And the final thing is work out at least 1 day a week, preferably 3 or 4 days. So the reason I say 1 day a week at least, and preferably 3 or 4, is because I feel like if I'm doing less than 1 day, that's really bad. 1 day is so doable. It's not even funny. But the reason, so I put 1 day, like, if you're not doing one, then get off your ass. Like, that's basically it. Because I've experienced what it's like to not work out at all for months. And I'm fairly lucky with my body. I don't get fat or anything, but I can feel that I'm getting out of shape, and I'd like to maintain like somewhat muscle mass, and I want to be in a fairly healthy condition. Healthy diet's also part of that, by the way, but I didn't put that here because I think it's an obvious thing for myself. And then I say preferably 3 or 4 days because I think that that's also especially 3. I feel like it's really possible to do 3. But again, 3 or 4 days, that's kind of like the challenge I'm putting for myself. And 1 day, if I'm not doing 1 day, then I'm not doing a good job. All right, I think that's basically it for the video. I encourage everyone, though, who got this far into the video to write down at least one specific goal for yourself in the comments below for the upcoming months or the upcoming year. This could be anything. I don't care if it's about school. I don't care if it's about Fortnite. It can be like, hey, I want to earn money in Fortnite. I want to reach top 1,000. I want to reach top 100 in a cash cup or whatever it is. It can be, I want to make sure that I stay in school this year, because for some people that's hard in specific years. It's been hard for me in the past. So I know it can be a very personal and specific goal. If you don't want to write it down in the comments, I'd say write it down for yourself somewhere. But if you write it down in the comments, that way you can come back to it in a couple months or even a year and see how you did. Again, don't be afraid to fail. It's just for yourself, and at least when you write it down, it's there. If you don't write it down, then it's always kind of floating in the air. So don't be afraid to fail, especially if it means you could succeed in the future. I believe in every single one of you, and I'll talk to you guys soon.